Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Queuing Up podcast. Today, as you see, it's still me. Don't worry. Me and Rob are still friends, still doing things. It's just this is a card that I wanted to talk about specifically. And you'll probably see a couple episodes of him doing his thing by himself. But this is a card that I was very much excited for because, if I'm being honest, when they revealed one of the cards, because I think there's like 6 different versions of this character in the set by itself. This is going to be, by the way, it's Marvel Set Part 3 if you aren't, caught up. But the first one they revealed of this was very underwhelming to me. And once I saw this one, I was actually very excited. Funny enough, I think I'm like happy with the other versions of this card besides itself. But the card we're talking about today is going to be a Hulk card. Shocker, I know. But this one actually caught my eye, and I was very, very happy about what it read because it has one keyword in it that makes it absolutely disgusting, I believe. In my opinion, I do believe that it is very, very good. So we're going to be talking about Professor Hulk. Now, Professor Hulk is a 6-drop, 4 generic, blue, legendary creature, Gamma Scientist Hero. He's a 6 power, 6 toughness with 2 abilities. First one being Trample, which very simple. If you have a 3/3 and 6/6 hits that 3/3, the additional 3 power that's left over is going to go past that creature and hit you as the controller. Next is whenever Professor Hulk deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. Now, to me, for any mono blue players, I feel like this is just a dream come true to y'all. Because, one, it has Trample, which there's not a lot of blue that has Trample. Like, it's usually green or green and red. Red has some Trample, but it's usually like, it's a green only kind of thing. And then 2, it just draws you cards for doing something usually blue doesn't do, which is combat damage. Usually blue like mills you, or you draw a bunch of cards and then you take damage because you're drawing cards. But like, don't get me wrong, blue decks can do combat damage. It's just that 9 times out of 10, it's usually they're stealing your stuff. They're playing cards at the top of your library. They're playing a bunch of spells that make you do. But it's very simple. He has got Trample, like that's the big keyword. And then whenever he deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. You're drawing 6 on like the best scenario with nothing added, no like setup, nothing. But he does cost 6. Now, obviously, this is blue. You can just easily throw in like Soul Rings, Arcane Signets. What else is there? The can't remember, the Thran Dynamo, is it? Is that what it is? It's the 4-drop equipment that you tap it for 3 generic mana. You got Solemn Simulacrum. There's one more. I think it's Pilgrim's Eye that lets you put an island to your hand when it enters. There's a lot of cards that let you either put an additional land onto the battlefield or just give you like generic mana to play to get him out like sooner. Because I think the earliest you can get him out that I can think of is turn 3. Yeah, turn 3, I think. Because if you play Soul Ring, next turn you have 3. And if you use that 3, if you use the land, the 2 from the Soul Ring, and the additional land on turn 2. So the 2 lands, the 1 Soul Ring, that's 4 to play Thran Dynamo. Turn 3, you'll have 7 mana to play. And he's just run crazy. Now, you might think he doesn't have built-in protection, but you're playing blue. There's a lot of there's counter spells. Blue's always going to have counter spells. I always tell people play counter spells. Because if you're playing blue, play counter spells. The only thing is try to find a healthy number of counter spells, because if you play too many counter spells, you're not going to have answers to other things. Well, I guess you do have answers because you're going to keep countering everything, but at the same time, you're not having anything to like buff up your creature or like make copies of your creature or draw more cards. You're using a lot more slots to just counter stuff. At the same time, though, it's just, he's a big 6/6 guy. He is going to be a big target, especially because he draws cards whenever he deals combat damage, and it's equal. It just doesn't even say equal to his power, just draw that many cards. And specifically, the way it's worded that way is because they left it open to do a lot of different things, and it's going to be really fun, and that's why I want to talk about him specifically myself. So moving right along, we're going to go into a section called Cards in Hand. Now, a lot of these cards that I'm going to talk about are literally what the name of this section is they go off of the number of cards in your hand. And if you haven't already guessed, there is one that came out recently. I think it was last year, if not a couple years ago. It's called Nerd Rage. Nerd Rage is a 3-drop enchantment, 2 generic, 1 blue. It reads, enchant creature. You're going to be chanting Professor Hulk. When this aura enters, draw 2 cards. So not only are you getting additional cards in your hand by just enchanting it or like having this enter, it has enchanted creature you have no maximum hand size. And whenever this creature attacks, if you have 10 or more cards in your hand, it gets +10/+10 till end of turn. So the way I see this, it is basically Blue's version of non-artifact. What's that? What's my Colossal Hammer? So for a lot of you who don't know, my favorite like card in Magic the Gathering of all time is Colossal Hammer. It's a 1-drop equipment that reads target or equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying. And then equip cost is 8. But the reason I like it so much is because it's in every deck that has white. It just automatically goes whoop right on top. And I'm like, that's disgusting. But Nerd Rage, giving you the no maximum hand size is a big thing in Blue. That's Blue's thing that I've always known Blue to be, is you don't want a maximum hand size. You want to draw as many cards as possible. And if, like I said, in Magical La La Land, you hit for 6. Hulk triggers, Professor Hulk triggers, you draw 6 cards. This enters, you have 8 cards. I'm assuming when you play this and you attack and everything and hit again, if you get through, you're gonna at least draw at minimum a card, unless they have that many blockers. But it's like you're easily gonna get that +10/+10. There should be no reason. You're playing mono blue. There's literally a card. It's a instant. I think it's one. Yeah, I think it's opt. You literally just scribe 1, draw a card. That can easily just get you back up to like that 10 or more, right? It's very good. Blue's very good at drawing cards. I'm going to keep saying that. You got cards like Consecrated Sphinx that whenever you draw, or whenever an opponent draws a card, you draw 2 cards. You have Teferi's. Is it Teferi's Enlightenment? No, it's a legendary enchantment. It's Teferi's something. But long story short, it's a 4-drop, 2 generic, 2 blue. Whenever you draw a card that isn't the first card you drew this turn, draw 2. Essentially, if you draw a card other than the draw in your draw step, you draw an additional card for every time. But if you hit for 6, Teferi's Insight will see each one of those and make it 2 cards instead of 1, so you draw 12. It's pretty disgusting. It's very good, and it's one of the cards that I recommend just running in Blue in general because you're just doubling the amount of cards you have. It is Teferi's something. I'm going to find it because it's a very good enchantment. Oh yeah, it is Teferi's Ageless Insight. Yep, legendary enchantment. If you would draw a card except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. It's like a $6 card. Very good. It's the game just going for any blue deck because the more cards a blue mage has, the more answers they have to answer everybody at the table. So, moving right along from Nerd Rage, like I said, very solid. You're gonna get that +10/+10 easily, unless you're playing a discard deck against one. You're going to get that +10/+10 almost immediately. But moving right along to the second card I'd like to talk about, that I think I've only seen one person run this, and I'm very surprised they don't. Like they don't run it more, I should say. We're going to be talking about an equipment, Hand of Vecna. It is a 3-drop, just 3 generic, legendary artifact equipment. Has 3 abilities. First one being, at the beginning of combat on your turn, equipped creature or creature you control named Vecna gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. And second ability is equip. Pay 1 life for each card in your hand. Second one, equip 2. 9 times out of 10, you're doing the equip 2. You're not going to be paying for the life or like the amount of life out of the cards in your hand. It's simply because if you're using artifacts in this deck to give you generic mana, you might as well just use that generic mana, just equip it instead of taking life. Now, don't get me wrong, you have 40 life in Magic the Gathering. You're going to have life as a resource. That is a thing that is in Magic. You can use your life as a resource. But when it comes to this, everyone's going to be attacking you because you're drawing so many cards. That is, to me, that is one of the scariest things, is when a player can draw multiple cards during one turn. And if you're drawing 6 every turn, you're essentially almost drawing a brand new hand every combat. But with Vecna, if you have Vecna and Nerd Rage in Magical, La La Land, and Professor Hulk, right? You have that +10/+10 on him. He's a 16/16. You attack. Well, now at the beginning, or I guess at the beginning of combat, so when you go to combat, Professor Hulk is going to get +X/+X, and at this point, you should have 7 or more cards. Let's say you have 10, because if you Nerd Rage went last time, so you're going to have 10 cards. He's now at 26/26, probably going to kill somebody at the table. Now, is this a 3-card setup? Yes, it is. But at the same time, he's just that good. Professor Hulk is going to draw you a bunch of cards. You're going to have answers to keep him alive, keep him going. You can either easily draw into Nerd Rage or Hand of Vecna, play the next turn, if not that turn, with the extra mana you have from the artifacts that you'll be playing in this deck. Because I really highly recommend running like artifacts that give you mana. You don't need a lot. I would probably say 6 at most, because you're going to have other things that are going to be artifact creatures that can help you out with mana and stuff. But yes, Hand of Vecna is one that I've only seen, I think, once in the wild. Like going to my local LGS, It's just I don't think I've seen anything like anyone else play it besides one dude who played it in a werewolf deck, which was I think green red. It was I think it's Tovalar. It was a big thing for him. He was always wanting a werewolf commander that like helped all werewolves, and it did. And it's a very fun card. He ended up losing that game. Well, he won the first one, then lost the second one because the Hand of Vecna is just really good. It just makes any deck it plays into really good. But moving right along, just to keep things rolling, because this is going to be kind of a smaller episode, not too long. This next one is going to be Imperial Plate. This one's very generic. It's very simple. Imperial Plate, it's 2 generic for an artifact equipment. 2 abilities. First one being equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand. Usually it's going to be like a +5 minimum, I want to say, unless for some reason you're playing all your spells and you're just throwing everything out of your hand without drawing anything in return. And then equip 2. This is the more generic version of like Vecna, where it's not combat specific. It's not combat specific. It is just static, which means you don't have to move to combat or different phases to get that ability. It's just as soon as it equips to him, he's going to be buffed by every card in your hand. And if you have 7 and there's nothing like wrong with Professor Hall, like there's nothing enchanting him to get less power or toughness, if you have a whole hand with him on the field, this equips to him, he's now 13/13 with trample. He's going to just 2-shot anybody. It's very generic card. It's a card that I don't think I've ever seen play ever. And that's just in real life. I think I might have seen it online a couple times watching other people play this game. But this card is very generic. It's very fun. It's very cheap. It's very easy to use. And it easily can make any card disgusting, much like Vecna. Just put it in any deck that draws a lot of cards, that has a lot of cards just in hand at all times. It's even if you have a deck that only draws a card per turn, but it keeps you at 7, that's easily a +7/+7 for 2 mana. Same thing with Vecna. It's a +7/+7 for 2 mana. Just for being there. And I mean equip-wise. Like equip-wise, I should say. Equip is only 2. It's very, very crazy. I very much enjoy this card. You're going to notice a lot of equipment in the episodes that I talk about, usually, because I like equipment. I'm very much a Voltron guy. I'm going to hit you as hard as I can. My favorite deck of all time that I own that's triple sleeved is, or double sleeved, my bad, double sleeved, is my Sir Gwen deck. It's all about equipments and knights and equipping for free and just hitting you as hard as I can because that's how the deck works, right? It's very fun. Now, moving on to the last part of this. This one is going to kind of be like, there's going to be just very simple cards in this next set, which I call Wallbuster, which is since he already has Trample, Enable, or just on him, right? He's already technically a Wallbuster, but he's more of a wall breaker to me, where he's going to make a hole in the wall. These cards are going to make it so he either just goes over the wall or just goes through the defenses completely without having to worry about dying or going back or getting hurt in any way, shape, or form, right? So, first one on the list here, going to be pretty simple, very much enjoy it, is going to be Baxter. Now, Baxter, Fly in the, is it Ointment? Yeah, Fly in the Ointment is a 4-drop, 3 generic, 1 blue, legendary creature, insect, mutant, scientist. 2/2. Very low to the ground, 2/2. Got, I think, does he have flying? I don't think he does. Whenever Baxter enters or attacks, each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it, or with a counter, not a 1/1 counter, just a counter of any sort, gains flying until the end of turn. So if you have a shield counter, on the Hulk, if you have a first strike counter, double strike counter, you have, what else is there? I think there's a trample counter, which he already has trample, but because you have the counter on him, when he enters or attacks, he gives the Hulk flying, which just flies right over the defenses, hits them in the face, unless they have reach, flying, or something to deal damage or stop him from attacking. But his secondary ability also, it helps him as well. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Baxter. So if Baxter's just on the field, right, and you have a counter of some sort on Hulk, Hulk's going to get flying. And if Magical La La Land, once again, we're going to be there a lot, Magical Christmas Land, if the Hulk hits with that flying ability for that turn, for 6, you're going to draw 6 cards. Baxter's going to trigger 6 times. You're going to put 6 1/1 counters on Baxter. So for 4 mana, you drew 6 cards. Baxter became +6. Now he's an 8/8 for the next turn. And now you go to your next turn. Baxter's an 8/8 that can attack, and he's going to give Hulk flying again and draw you an additional 6, however many cards next turn if he's not buffed up by that point. But yeah, just by being on the field, Baxter's going to get massively, just massive massive power and toughness boost every turn. He's going to get +6, or he's going to get 6 1/1 counters, I should say specifically, because there are different wordings and different rulings. But he's going to get he's going to get 6 +1/+1 counters every turn if the Hulk hits for max damage, if not more. If you have that Nerd Rage on him, it's going to be 16 damage. Max going to get 16 counters. He's going to be an 18 next turn. That's almost half the amount of the starting health in a commander game. That is insane to me. So as soon as I saw Baxter, I was like, he's just going to be great in this deck. All you need to do is put a counter of any sort on the Hulk. You want to know what blue has? Proliferation. Proliferation just lets you add an additional 1/1 counter or an additional counter of any sort on any permanent, not even yours. You can do it on someone else. So like if someone had poison counters, you can just proliferate them out of that. It's the Hulk with any kind of like toxic or poison. I know it's toxic 1 usually gives you like 1 poison counter, but I forget what the other like thing is that a lot of people don't like, because you only need 10 of those counters to get out of the game. In a game like this, you can easily just run proliferation and counters and just give them all that. It's disgusting. It's gonna be a good card. Like I said, he makes himself bigger by you just playing blue. Just by drawing cards, Baxter's gonna get bigger. He's going to give himself flying whenever he attacks and when he enters. He's just a good way to add more keywords to the Hulk and make himself bigger off of the Hulk. He's going to be really fun. He's easily going to make the Hulk disgusting. He himself can be a wall buster by just going over the fences by having those counters and giving himself flying. Very simple, very easy, run of the like mill, right? And I feel like I'm just kind of like going around saying the same things, just slightly different. So we're going to move right along to the next card. You've already seen this card. You know what this card does, but if you haven't, I'm going to go over it anyways. So we have a way to give him flying, to go over. Now we have a way to go through, right? With Aqueous Form. I've talked about this in the last video. If you want to go see that with Speedball, the Aqueous Form is a 1-drop, just blue enchantment aura. Has 3 abilities. 1, enchant creature, which you're usually going to enchant your own creature. Enchanted creature can't be blocked. Hey, he's a wall buster in a sense of he's just busting through the wall without touching the wall. That's how I see it. He's just phasing through everybody and hitting you. Lastly, whenever enchanted creature attacks, scry 1. So every time you swing with the Hulk or Professor Hulk, you are going to look at the top card of your library and you get to choose if you want to keep it on top or on bottom. Blue is disgusting when it comes to scrying. Blue's whole thing is they want to know what's coming. They want to manipulate their deck in every way, shape, and form so they can, so they can make their turns the way they want their turns to go. They don't want to just make like, oh, I'm going to draw 1 card next turn. No, they're going to be like, no, I'm going to put that at the bottom and see what the next card is next turn, if not the same turn with like equipments, other creatures, whatever, yada, yada. But very simple card. Like I said, enchant your Hulk. He can't be blocked. Hit for max damage with Nerd Rage and Hand of Vecna on there. So you get +10/+10. You have 10 cards and you can get another +10/+10. He's now a 26. Boom, kill somebody next turn. Oh, you want to do Path of Exile? Counter spell. Oh, you want to do Chaos Warp? Counter spell. Oh, you're doing a board wipe? Counter spell. Blue's just good at countering. Like when I first started playing the game, don't get me wrong, I always got mad when I got countered when it came to Magic the Gathering. However, I've come to understand, and I've since I've been playing for what, 6 years? I think it's going on 9 years now. What is it? Because we started playing I think in 2019, 2026. So yeah, almost 10 years, 7 years. I've been playing with my friends and everything, and I've had fun with it. I've come to understand that counterspells are part of the game. Exiling is part of the game. Returning to your hands is part of the game. Destroying is part of the game. Like, everything is just part of the game. I can't get mad at you for playing the cards the way the cards are supposed to be played. However, there are people who are toxic, who play cards that just don't win you the game. They're just a pain to deal with, and they think it's funny. Kudos to you. You're playing Magic. I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm not going to sit there and be like, you don't deserve to play with me. No, I'm stubborn. I'm going to find a way to beat you with those cards on the field because that's who I am. That's how I rock and roll. This card also, by the way, screams I'm target numero uno. I'm going to draw not only 6 cards, hopefully per turn. I'm going to keep making my commander huge because I'll say this every time I make a video, every time you guys see me. I love being the first person out of the game. It's not because I'm bored. It's not because I don't have enough time to play the game. It's because I love being the threat to the point where everyone has to use their stuff on me and figure out how the hell to deal with each other after they get me off the field. Very fun. Very much enjoy this game. Baxter is going to be awesome. Aqueous Form is going to be awesome. But this last one, It's just one simple card. And if I just realized because of Baxter, let me go back to him. Because of him being a scientist, this actually benefits him and the Hulk very good or very well. But this last one is going to be Raise the Palisade. Now, a lot of people hate having things returned to their hand, but that's what blue does. This is a card that 9 times out of 10, the way I play it is I play it to win the game. When you see me play, I'm going to win. But for some of you who don't know, Raise the Palisades is a 5-drop sorcery or generic 1 blue. As just one line of text, right? Or 2, I guess technically. Choose a creature type. Return all creatures that aren't of the chosen type to their owner's hand. Now, if you're watching this, you can already see the card that's going to be popping up. If not, if you're just listening, it's going to be Baxter again. Baxter is an insect mutant scientist. You know who else is a scientist? The Hulk. So if you have these two on the field, and Baxter is like an 18-18, and Professor Hulk's like a 20-something, Raise the Palisade. Guess what? You can swing those two at 2 different people to do even more damage, draw even more cards, make Baxter even bigger. Professor Hulk is flying, and then has trample in case they have a blocker who's reach or flying. And you have counterspells to protect both of them. It's gonna be gross. Like, this deck is going to be so much fun. Like, the way I see this, right? I have yet to have a blue Voltron deck. This is going to be my blue Voltron deck. Even if I don't run a bunch of equipments, just making him super big, giving him a bunch of enchantments, fantastic, right? It's going to be amazing. I'm going to love every second of hitting my opponents as hard as I can because that's just what I think the Hulk does. Now, for some of you who don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Flip Hulk at all. I know there's probably people out there who are like, oh, but he's going to be so fun. He's going to be great, whatever. It's just... It's just a weird like card to me, and what I mean by that is I just don't like it. If I'm being honest, I just don't like it. So here, let me get the card here. So save the image. Yep. Just so I can talk about why I do not like this. Like literally every other Hulk in this set, love. But this is the one I was referring to when I say I just don't like this. I do not like it. So let me get image here. Let's call this banner. Yep, add this, and I'm keeping this all in, by the way. You're hearing everything that I have to do because I forgot to talk about this card. So this one, right? Bruce Banner. Legendary creature, human scientist hero. So he's just a 1-drop blue, right? Well, he has an ability, XX, tap, draw X cards, activate only as a sorcery. If you don't know, if there's 2 X's, you have to pay the same amount each X to get the same thing. So if you want to draw 1 card, you have to put 2 mana, 1 into each of the X's. So 1X, 1X, tap them, draw 1 card. So you have to pay twice the amount of mana to draw half the amount of cards. Now, that sounds crazy, but that is balanced. You don't want a creature that literally says X, tap, draw X cards, especially in blue or green. You're going to have so much mana that you can just manipulate red too. You can just play like 16 things or draw 16 cards right off rip. And then he has another ability where it's 6 mana, 2 generic, red, red, green, green, transform Bruce Banner, activate only as a sorcery, right? So let me flip this one. You flip him, and he turns into the Incredible Hulk, right? Incredible Hulk is 2 generic, red, red, green, green, 8/8, reach, trample, and rage. Whenever the Incredible Hulk is dealt damage, put a 1/1 counter on him. If he's attacking, untap him, and there's an additional combat phase after this phase. The reason I don't like this, right? He's super slow. It's super slow. What I mean by that is you have to pay 6 mana, and I understand you're playing, like I said, blue, red, green. You can do artifacts to get extra stuff. You can get mana, stuff like that. Yada, yada. He's just, like, I don't see him being good. Now, I understand you can easily play ping spells, fight spells. Fight spells are going to be a big thing in this, which essentially what a fight spell is target creature deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. So he's going to be fighting people. He's going to be untapping, fighting more people, untapping, fighting more people, untapping. And you're essentially going to want to have him keep attacking people and getting those 1/1 counters. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like he's just slow to me. The Bruce side is really weird. I'd rather instead of you draw cards, it says XX tap, add X gamma counters, and then that secondary ability, instead of transforming him, it could just say, whenever you have 10 or more gamma counters, remove them and flip this card. because you can easily put just mana into him and flip him right away instead of paying the 6. And the reason I'd rather have that instead is because you won't have to spend 6 mana. Well, either way, you're spending that mana. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, I feel like the Bruse side easily could have been better. Like, there could have been some payoff. Instead of having that transform ability, you could have easily had, whenever you draw 2 or more cards per turn, do a gamma counter. If you have 3 or more gamma counters, flip them, right? So it's like, oh, he gets a gamma counter on your turn. Next turn. Third person's turn. That's 3 gamma counters because you drew 2 or more cards. Flip them. And you only paid, what, 6 mana, 5 mana less? It's just, I don't know. I feel like he could have just been better. This whole card could have just been better. I understand the whole, like, giving him indestructible, like, infinite combat steps. I don't know. I just feel like literally the other Hulks can do better. There's one that doubles counters for all gamma mutants. There's one that destroys all artifacts and attacks each combat if able. There is one that draws cards and has trample, which we talked about. There's another one that is red-green that if you have is it a power-up, I think is what it's called? If you have the power-up ability, the first power-up ability you activate per turn is 4 generic mana less. So it's going to be gross with that deck. Especially, like, because the power-up abilities, and I feel like there's going to be more Marvel sets throughout the years. I have a hangnail or something there. But yeah, very, I don't know, underwhelming card to me anyways. And he essentially is going to keep getting that +1/+1 counter, but he's not protecting himself. So he's constantly going to be at a certain amount of damage or less, because every time you take damage in combat, it stays on the creature until the cleanup phase, where you take all the damage off of him, right? So if you constantly attack with this dude, and he's just hitting, it's just going to eventually die. Like, it's going to die. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's not going to do well. It's just, like I said, it just feels underwhelming. I don't really like it. The only thing I could really see with why they did that Bruce Banner that weird way is because they want you to draw into lands, play additional lands, if not more lands, or try to get, like, I guess, Moon Mist. Moon Mist is a 1-drop instant that lets you transform a creature, which means you flip it. So for 1 mana, tap it, boom. Now you have the Hulk turn 2. But that's like 1 card in 99. So it's a very low chance of getting it. I don't know. I just feel like they could have done better with him and did something, I don't know. Because, like, the Enrage makes sense. Whenever he's taking damage, he's getting bigger because he's getting stronger. But it's just like, I don't know. The unlimited, or like the combat steps, trying to get as many combat steps in. I'm pretty sure there's like a 2-card infinite with him, right? And it's going to be interesting at the say the least. It's going to be fun to kind of like mess around with it at least. But out of all of the Hulks that they've shown, this is my least favorite. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I can't say it's terrible. I should take that back. It's not terrible. It does have its function. I just feel like they could have made both sides better. I don't know, like, or at least did something with Hulk to make it like so it's easier to get him out instead of turn 6. Given, I think, turn 4 if you're playing 2 lands per turn. Turn 3. If you're playing 2 lands per turn because it's a green deck, turn 3 you can get him out. You can just pay for the Hulk on that side. But like I said, I don't know. It's just basically, I don't see people playing this card to play Bruce Banner. Or even cast him, to be honest with you. I just see him playing the Incredible Hulk. If they're going to find some ways to play Bruce just to flip him, not use his abilities at all. But yeah, like I said, I could talk forever about why I don't like this card. But it's not, like I said, it's not like it's a bad card. If you like this card, kudos to you. It is a Hulk card. I'm more than likely still going to buy it because I like Hulk. That's me. I'm not going to like it. I can't say I hate it because I probably will mess around with it. I just don't like it as much as the others, I should say. So, without further ado, I would just like to tell each and every one of you, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Keep in mind that this will be live on Tuesday, the 23rd of June. This will come up at 3 p.m. every Tuesday. That's when I upload onto Spotify, Apple, whatever other podcast things you have. This will go up on Friday, that following Friday. So on Fridays on my YouTube channel, The Real Rocha at YouTube. You're going to have that on Friday at 3 p.m., same time as always. It's going to be every Friday. It's just essentially if you want to listen to this before YouTube, you can just go to Spotify. You can go to Apple Podcasts, I think, or just Apple. I think there's one called Pocket Podcast, Amazon Podcast, anywhere, that you find podcasts. I will easily, like, give you guys, the episode, right? Oh, excuse me. But yeah, If you didn't know either, I did have a 30-minute timer because I wanted to make this smaller, get myself, going, whatever. But yes, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the lobby the next time you decide to queue up.